Hi guys, so let's do a small quick guide which can help you guys to know how to log into Sitecore CMS system and which page are we looking for the changes to work on. So let's log in. Let's log in as Aaron. I have emailed you the credentials. As you can see, we are on FB4 Sitecore site. So I've logged in as Aaron. Let's go to the content editor. That's where all the content lives. Now let's open up Collette and let's go to our path, which is destinations. Inside destinations, let's look at Australia. This is the page where I have created the demo components. I've added all the components to this page, and we can work on this page for the CSS issues. As you saw, I clicked on Australia item here in the CMS system. After clicking that, I went up here in the ribbon and I clicked on page editor mode. On clicking that, this is the page that opens up. And now we want to work on this page. We are in the edit mode. As we can see, so I have created dummy components here on this page, which actually don't live on the page, but I've created it for now. So I've created a grid row component. As you can see, if I go on the current component here, if I go here on the this component, for example, and I go up, I go to the actual placeholder, I can add to the grid column. That's where the components are added. So basically, a page has a placeholders, and on placeholders you can add different components. So currently here we have a grid column placeholder to which we added this page intro component and the drop down component. Similarly, whenever we add, so these all small components are called as renderings. So whenever we add a new rendering, for example, a new grid rendering has a placeholder inside it. That's what gives us the option of add to here. So now currently, as you can see, I don't get that option. When I do the parent, it takes me to the parent item. It does not have the placeholder for the grid. And if I do inspect on this, and if I move, so basically if I inspect, and if I move this on here, I see the original grayed out CSS for Sitecore, and I see my add to here. This is what is not working. So on removing that row class, I did see my add to here option. So that's one thing we want to work on. Then the next component I'm specifying here is the cards component. As you can see here on cards component, I don't have the add to here option. Now if I go and inspect this and I remove the row class here from this class, I see my add to here's and the grayed out portion for Sitecore. Similarly, so the issue is in cards component, .cshtml, grid row, new grid row.cshtml. Basically, they both are using the class row. Then the next component we are talking here about is the deck component. That is deck.cshtml file. This also has a placeholder inside it, which is not visible right now. If I go to inspect, it has classes deck large and deck. So if I remove this, I see the placeholder. So these are the issues we are having in the page editor mode. The components that I added way before the CSS was implemented. So as you can see here, these deck cards are added inside of the deck. And this gives me the add to here option because the components are already added inside it. But if there are no components added to it and I add the deck component for the first time and I try to add components to it, it doesn't let me do that. So I guess that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You guys can log into fp4.cocolette.com/sitecore. Just go to the Australia page. This is where I've created the components. I'll just repeat it again. I've created the grid component, the cards component, and the deck component. And I don't see the add to here option on all these components. Unless I remove the specific classes. The classes we are looking at are row class, deck large class, and deck class. I hope this is helpful. Thank you guys.